Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking, and today I'm going to be talking about Archangel Haniel. So, like all archangels, they contain both male and female energy. However, I'll refer to Haniel as she because that's how she, how I see her or how she presents energy to me. I've been going through the archangels and trying to spend a little bit of time connecting with each of them, getting a better idea of their personality, how best to interact with them to benefit from their expertise. And so I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about her. I originally was actually not trying to channel Archangel Haniel. There is a dragon who is a new dragon to me. This is the Jade Dragon. And there was other information that I was channeling about this Jade Dragon, and I was actually trying to connect with their energy in order to get a better understanding of them, even though I had already channeled a bunch of information from them. And it turns out the Jade Dragon is the crystalline dragon equivalent of Archangel Haniel. So I tried to connect with the energy of the Jade Dragon and like get them in my clairvoyance and clairsentience. And instead it ended up being Archangel Haniel. So that's how this came about. So she kind of just wiggled her way into my session with the Jade Dragon. So let me kind of scroll up to the beginning of this. So I had asked the Jade Dragon, I was like, hey, can I meet you now? Because I had channeled information about them, but I hadn't actually interacted with them. And the Jade Dragon told me yes, sneaky guides. And I said, please help me to feel your energy. And this is when Archangel Haniel decided to show up. So they are the same energies, but the dragon energy is going to be, it's going to have more depth and breadth because the dragon energy can also contain darkness or something that is not light, perfectly light. Because the archangels are only light, and the archangels are they're workers, they have an agenda based on what they're trying to accomplish, just like all of us, right? The dragons are like the rest of us. They have free will. They can do what they want. Archangels don't really have free will. They are set up to do a job, so they can't just like walk away from their job and change their minds, right? Like they are always the archangels. Although the dragons are always the dragons. But anyways, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, so. Okay, so Haniel comes in, and I don't see anything. Like the first thing that happens is I feel something, and someone has touched my feet. And so this is like, for me personally, this is the trademark message that I understand, I know, I'm familiar with, I trust whoever has just stepped forward, because they will touch the chakra on the bottom of my foot, and it feels really nice. It feels like endorphins. It feels like you're getting like this great massage right there. But because of how it's connected with the root chakra, the message that my energy receives is like, you are safe, you are loved. And so that it's always someone I know well that will do that to me. So she does that. And then I'm trying to look and trying to see her, and I just see color at first. And so she appears as like an aqua color, right? And actually, this is maybe not the perfect color, but this actually is. So it's a little bit different. A little more green in this one. So this is kind of the color she appears as, but there's a little bit of like a lime green on like the edges or in certain places on the color. And so I want to kind of touch on this real quick, because in the history of people channeling archangels, and even in my own history of interacting with archangels, we always assign them like one color, right? Like typically people will assign this color to Haniel. But what I'm learning as my clairvoyance is slowly getting better, I'm recognizing that it's not a single color that belongs to them. There's like a major color, right? But there's all these other minor colors that are relevant to the overall feel of the energy. And to be honest with you, it'll look to me like two different colors because of us being on a 3D planet. In reality, it's these colors mixed, right? It's a whole lot of this and a teeny tiny bit of this. And it's colors that we don't have on Earth. We don't have names for them. We haven't seen these shades of color before. Just like the way with Archangel Raziel, I was seeing like kind of like a magenta, but kind of like a lavender color. And it's like, mix those. What color is that, right? Like, it doesn't even make sense. So as my clairvoyance gets better and as the clairvoyance of other channelers continues to improve, we'll start to be able to see more, hopefully, I hope, more of the colors and not just the single color, but, you know, neither here nor there. So she originally appears as this color, these colors. Let me see, you have to scroll back up. She is the dragon energy. Oh, because I'm talking about the other one. Haniel, and I mentioned this, Haniel and the jade dragon are the same energy in different forms with different parameters, essentially. And her energy at first felt very confident, and I almost felt like queen-like energy come from her. Like, I almost felt like there was a crown on her head or something. She felt authoritative but special. It's like the only words I can give you. So Archangel Haniel steps forward properly, and she says, I am the bringer of new growth, of hope, of future abundance. And when she says this, I can see her hand, and she kind of goes like this, and there's like silver glitter that falls down, and I'm like, huh, okay. She says, I am the divine feminine, the keeper of the moons, the healer of the dark depths that bring forward new, fresh energy. I am the wisdom of your depths. Deep gives way to deep. So she's starting to get real complicated here, and I stopped her, and it's not for the reason you might think. So she said, deep gives way to deep. And I stop channeling, and I look at her right in her eyes, and she knows what I'm thinking. And so when I was maybe, I don't even know, I'm going to say like 20 years ago, that's my guess, 20 years ago, I wrote a poem, and one of the lines of the poem said, deep gives way to deep. And when I wrote it, well, one, I channeled it. I didn't know that obviously at the time. I understand that very well now. When I wrote it, I didn't really know what it meant, but I felt it. Because I wrote it down and I was like, ooh, yeah, that explains something much bigger than what I'm able to put words to. Deep gives way to deep. So I had no idea what it meant, but I felt its profound meaning. So I'm like looking at Haniel because she's now repeated something that I wrote down 20 years ago. So I'm looking at her and she's like validating, like, yeah. And so real quick, I was like, you know what? I need to Google search this. I need to see like what is already out there about this. Because 20 years ago, just kind of wrap your mind around this. 20 years ago, the internet was a little bit available, but not a lot. And so there wasn't this much information on the internet 20 years ago when I wrote it, right? And so I Googled it now, and the original channeled source of it, or what seems to be the original channeled source, is actually in the Bible. So it's one of the Psalms in the Bible, says something like, deep calls to deep. And then I was looking, there's like all these different interpretations of it, and I was like, I just want to know I want Archangel Haniel to tell me what this is about. Because if she's saying it to me now, she's the one who said it to me back then, and she's identifying herself to me. She's like, remember that? That was me. That's how our guides do these things. So before I could even stop typing in my phone, before I could even stop communicating to my phone, she's already starting to give me the answer to that deep gives way to deep. She's already downloading it. She said, the divine in you, she's talking to me, the divine in you recognizes the divine everywhere else. As you connect with your soul, with your depth, you find the universal energy, which is all of ours. Suffering is often what pulls a person into their depths. In your depths, your facades have fallen and your core is exposed. That core is your soul. It is the truth, and it leads to greater depths and greater truths, such that you and I, me and her, are one. Your depths call to my depths. Your soul calls to my soul. Your depth gives way to greater depths. The greatest of them all being your connection to all. And so, paradoxically and perfectly, it is your solitude that brings you to the awareness that you are connected infinitely and endlessly. So that was her explanation, and I felt that, even though I had no way of putting words to it at that point. And so I'm like, okay. And then so I tell her, all right, please continue telling me, please share with me what you wanted to share, because we had a moment there and it kind of cut her off. And I'm like, so please tell me more about what you wanted to share. And she says, I am the magical within the physical realm. I am an excellent guide to assist you with rituals involving cycles of the moon, cycles of the season, or cycles of your own growth and development. I assist you with creating new endeavors. I assist you with planting and fertilizing new seeds for your development. I am the Archangel of Hope, guiding you towards light and a new beginning. I am the Archangel of the Moon, helping you reach greater depths in your intuition and your receptivity. I am the Archangel of Stillness, guiding you towards meditation and your own depths. I connect you with divine wisdom. I show you how love can heal all wounds. I show you how every ending is truly just another beginning. I am the Archangel of Divine Clarity. Embracing your divine feminine energy, embracing hope embracing your depth, and embracing the natural cycles of your planet and body will bring you more abundance. I can help you water the seeds you plant to bring forward new growth and new life. I am the mother of beginnings. So this is what she says about herself. It's kind of interesting to me because this color that she showed, this lime green color. So one, check this out. This is Amanda Ellis's spray, and this is the Hope spray. So she was saying, I am the Archangel of Hope. So one, that's kind of cool. Two, this is really this is the color of new growth. Like if you think of like a brand new plant, when it starts sprouting, it's always like that really light green. It's not like a dark, deep green. And I want to show you something. So I love orchids. I like using the orchid flowers on my crystal grids at times. There is someone who is, and this is my orchid plant, there's someone who is in our Patreon group, my and Susan's Patreon group, who was talking to Susan during a session and who had said something to her about like, hey, because Susan tattled on me. I was like using the flowers from the orchids and then I would throw the orchid plant away because I've always felt like I was a really horrible. I always felt like there was nothing I could do to keep a plant alive, and I would work so hard and nothing ever lived. And so the person had said to Susan, like, hey, tell Jennifer, she can just, if she waters it, if she takes care of it, it'll just like rebloom. So this is my project right now, is this orchid plant. And I want to show you, because, it's cold and it's winter here. So one, you can see this lighter green leaf. I finally got a new growth on a leaf. And also, I don't know if you can tell here. So this is like the old growth, right? And this is the old growth. But right here, this guy just sprouted like, I don't know, in the last couple days. And he's got like cute little end right here. And even, let me turn this. And even this one is starting to get a new little end. And you could see it's that light green color, right? Because it's new. Anyways, I want to show you guys this because one day I think I might actually get this guy to bloom again. And that'll be a huge thing for me because I've never had a plant do that. So for Archangel Haniel, she is associated with the planet Venus. If you're interested in crystals that tie into her energy, moonstone is one of the crystals that tie into her energy. I should have brought examples. There are two different kinds of moonstone that work really well for her, and one of them is the very traditional, I don't even know what they call it. I think it's just like moonstone. It's just like the white moonstone that has the blue flash. So like the blue flash moonstone ties into her energy. Also, green moonstone, which I think it's also called like Garnierite. I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But there's a green moonstone that has it has kind of like that aqua or like turquoise color in it. So that one's good to connect to her energy. Turquoise is good to connect with her energy. What else do you want me to say? Do you want to give me any other crystals? You're just going to give me that's fair enough. I guess that's 3 of them. So 2 different kinds of moonstone. Do you want me to say that? She's also showing me green fluorite, which I love green fluorite. I have like 45 of those. I could have showed you guys those, but green fluorite, which again, especially you can, I mean, this is not, it's basically kind of in between these two colors, which I guess is why she's like, yeah, that color works. Some green fluorite is almost like this color. Just depends on where you get it from. I think it's called like Baja fluorite. I don't know. Might be from Brazil. What else do you want me to say? I didn't finish out like the end of this video, so now I'm like, hey, what do you... So crystals. Amazonite connects to her energy. Thank you. Okay, all done? Okay. Man. So for the Jade Dragon, you'll at some point that message will come through. The Jade Dragon message is really fascinating and has to do with cosmic energies that are coming to the earth at a certain time. And so I'm probably going to put that message out now and then kind of repeat it again when that event is actually occurring, because anytime they give me the information that this far in advance, I mean, if they give it to me, I try to put it out, even if it doesn't seem to make sense. Like, why am I putting this information out 3 months in advance, 4 months in advance? I don't know. Just got to follow along with them. For Archangel Haniel. So I feel like she could, if you're really into the energies of 2025, if you're really trying to capitalize on what's going on in 2025 and how you can take advantage of that, Archangel Haniel is a good archangel to be connected with, because one of the themes that came forward from, gosh, who did I channel? There was like a snake, and then Raziel showed up. I had a strange 2025 channeling, but essentially they were talking about capitalizing or taking advantage of natural cycles. So seasonal cycles, or cycles having to do with planetary alignments, any cycles to do with the moon, right? Full moon, new moon, waning gibbous, waxing gibbous, what phase is the moon in? All of these things have an influence on us. It has an influence on our planet. And if you know how to time your endeavors, you can get more out of them. So anytime you start something new, because remember, Archangel Haniel is all about like beginning these new projects, new energies. Anytime you start something new is a good time. It's always a good time, right? To start bringing in that new energy and to plant something new. You will get more abundance or more output or more reward if you are timing these things with, when the energetics are going to be supporting that type of activity. So Haniel can help you. And it's not like she doesn't have to be like, hey, you have to quit your job or start that book on Tuesday. Or, it's not going to work out. It's not necessarily going to be her giving you specifics, but asking her to work with you is going to help you to just like naturally, intuitively, like you don't even mean to, you just happen to start things at the right time. I'm going to bring something up that was not part of this was not part of this video, but it ties into it. So Metatron was channeling information to me about there being cycles. How do I explain this? He called it cycles of manifesting on Earth. So there are So everyone knows about the seasons, right? We all know about the big idea of like, okay, winter is a time to rest. Winter is a time to like go within yourself and do your shadow work and all of that fun stuff. It's the time to purge energies. And then springtime is the time to like start something new and invest. And summer is the time to help it grow and expand. And when fall comes around, then it's like the harvest, the abundance. You get the perks from all of that hard work. And so I think we're all aware of like the seasonal cycle, but that's one big cycle, right? And can you imagine if all of us were like waiting all year long for spring to show up so that we could start something new? Like, that's not how it works. And so there are smaller cycles just like that within each season. And so there are 3 stages that they've broken each season into. And of course, I lost my place because I'm yapping. So this is like, for example, so January that we just got over, January is a good month for like assessing changes you want to make, planning for things you want to start. So January is a good time for that, for plotting and planning and assessing. February is a good month for starting something. Start it, plant it, get it going, start the YouTube channel, write the first page of the book, like just getting it started, right? March is a good time to feed or grow or expand what you planted in February. And then this cycle continues. So April is a good time to either assess what you planted in February and you grew in March and go, where can I make changes? Or April's a good time to start planning for what else do I want to start? And so this cycle, that 3-step cycle, repeats every 3 months. And so it's a cycle within a cycle. And there's no doubt that there are more cycles within the cycle, right? Because there are probably certain weeks of each month that are the best for certain things, right? What's kind of cool about this is it kind of gives you a little framework of how to benefit from energies. And what's really cool is that, so the best months, I'll just tell you, just so you know, the best months to start a new project, if you want to line up with the energy of the divine, your planet, all of that fun stuff, it's going to be February, May, August, and November. February, May, August, November. So here's why that's like so on point and so amazing. So November is when I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago. Yeah, November is when I started my YouTube channel. So I didn't know that November meant anything in particular, but that's when I started it, and it's because I was intuitively guided to that by Metatron. He told me about it in like September. And I was like, when should I start? When should I start? And he's like, November. And I was like, gosh, he's giving me an awful lot of time to sort this out. But I was like, maybe he's doing this because I need a lot of time to get the equipment and to figure out a name and all of this stuff. But he did it for a reason. February is when Susan and I started our business, where we officially launched our website and took our first clients and all of that. So that lined up really well. May, if you think of May is the number 5. It's the energy of changes coming. If you are planting something new in May, yeah, you better change is coming. Something's going to grow. Something's going to change. So that's cool. And then August is like the master manifesting month, right? August is all about Lionsgate portal and abundance. But how do you get there, right? Lionsgate is the time to set your intentions, start something, and then watch it grow. So, okay. So that's probably all the messages I'll drop on this video. As far as reminders on things, so like several videos ago, I just spouted this out because I had just channeled it, so I just said it, and I want to say it again for anyone who didn't see that video or who needs a reminder. Metatron was encouraging anyone who's interested to try to consume more root vegetables during this time. Well, January's already passed. Okay. He's like January, February. I'm like, we're done with January. February. You know what it is? It's the winter. It's February, and it'll probably be like the first week or so in March until spring shows up. But he's talking about root vegetables. So he highlighted carrots, garlic, ginger, turmeric, like rutabaga, turnip, radish, those kinds of root vegetables. There are other vegetables that grow in the ground that he was like, yeah, this is not quite it. So like not really potatoes, not really onions. It's really these other vegetables that he's labeled as root vegetables. So if you're able to consume those, that will help you with maximizing and benefiting from the current energies based on that bigger cycle, which is like, hey, you're in winter, it's time to purge. So if you want to benefit from that bigger cycle of like digging deep and purging out the stuff that needs to go, root vegetables in the winter. What else? Okay, I think that's probably all the reminders for now. If you feel really drawn to Haniel, if you feel like you're like connected with her, I have 2 potential recommendations for you. One, we have an angel activation that helps connect you with all archangels, not just Haniel. So that is an option for you if you're wanting to move towards channeling the archangels, getting to know them better, getting to know their personalities better through your own personal experiences. That is the session that I would recommend. If you're not interested in having that type of first-hand experience with her, but you're interested in, like the things that I'll share about her, our Patreon group has interacted with Haniel's soul a couple times, and so she's worked with us. At one point, she was working with us she gave us a ritual to use. I think it was like a clearing ritual. I remember it was tied in with the moon energy. So, yeah, it was like a cleanse. Haniel. An aura cleanse is what I think it was. Okay, sorry, I'm just tuning into that information. So that's another, if you wanted to join the Patreon group, that would be a way. If you're interested in working with magical symbols, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about herbs, if you're interested in working with like earth magic, doing things to support our planet in its ascension, doing things to support other planets, in remaining healthy and balanced and all of that fun stuff. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of messages also with like Metatron or other guides. So just want to throw that out there. Okay. this is everything that I have for you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.